Hello and welcome. Let's discuss this question that came in the year 2013 and is related to the topic climatology. The question is, the annual range of temperature in the interior of the continents is high as compared to coastal areas. What is or are the reasons? First, thermal difference between land and water, variation in altitude between continents and oceans, presence of strong winds in the interior, 4. Heavy rains in the interior as compared to coasts. To understand this question, first we have to see the thermal difference between land and water. Now basically the temperature contrast between continents and oceans, that is land and water, is high during summers. High during summers. The reason behind this is specific heat of water. Specific heat of water is more than land or any other substance, is more than land. What happens when specific heat of water is more than land is that water requires more time and more energy to get heated up. Okay. So, if a body of water compared to land, this requires more time. So, this will warm up slowly. This gets warm up faster and more warmed up as compared to water. So what happens during summers? Land will get heats up quickly as compared to water. So the contrast will be more. Whereas during winters, both land and water will cool down at similar temperature. So land heats up faster, cools down faster. Water heats up slowly, cools down slowly because of specific heat of water is more than land. If we see the question again, thermal difference between land and water is the reason that interior of the continents, the annual range of temperature in the interior of the continents is high as compared to coastal areas. So this reason is correct. Now variation in altitude between continents and oceans. Altitude is not significant as far as annual range of temperature and contrast is associated. So altitude doesn't matter as far as the annual range of temperature between interior of continents and oceans is concerned and the contrast is concerned. Now presence of strong winds in the interior. Coasts too have strong winds. Either in the form of onshore winds or in the form of cyclones, storms. So strong winds is basically characteristic of difference between high pressure and low pressure area. So coastal areas too have strong winds. So this option is also not appropriate. This statement is also not appropriate. Fourth option is heavy rains in the interior as compared to coasts. Rains is not heavy in the interior because of the effect of continentality. Now, what is continentality? Is because there is more land in the interior of the continents, they get very less moisture during evaporation as compared to oceans. Oceans has more water, so during evaporation more water gets evaporated and that helps in heavy precipitation. Whereas in the interior of the continent, since they are dry area, so because of the effect of continentality there is less moisture, and because of that less moisture there are comparatively lower rains as compared to coastal areas. If all the prevailing conditions like onshore winds are associated with it. Suppose some coastal areas are dry too. For example, let's assume this as a continent. If there will be onshore wind, this is sea, this is land. If there will be onshore wind, it will bring more moisture to the land from the sea. But if there will be offshore wind, then wind is blowing away from land and towards the sea. So this will be comparatively dry. Offshore wind will be comparatively dry. Onshore wind will be comparatively wet. This coastal region will be comparatively dry. This coastal region will be wet. So these are the prevailing conditions as far as coastal regions wetness or dryness is concerned. So this statement is also not correct. So if we eliminate all the options, A will be our correct option. Thank you.